So our list here today, what we're going to be going over is the short arm splint, sugar tongue splint, a coaptation splint, then a long leg splint, ankle stirrup, and posterior ankle. So we'll start with the short arm. And a couple principles that I really emphasize. Number one is padding prominent areas. We'll start with your right arm. Put your hand, slip your fingers through here, thumb there. And since the splint is going to be this long here, and you flip your arm down, it's going to be this long, or about this long. You want to make sure we pad beyond that and make this even longer, so when you pull this over the end, you get soft padding on the end. So most of the time, a 3-inch will do it for a short arm. It's like you're holding a glass of water there. There you go. These are the MCP joints, the knuckles. You want to get out to them. Pat around the thumb, because that always seems to get irritated with these. Just kind of straight there. And although there is padding on the splint material, it's not very thick. So adequately pad. All the bony prominences need to be padded. Otherwise you'll be hearing from an attorney because of pressure sores. Seen it happen.
Or an orthopedist.
What's that?
Or an orthopedist.
Or an orthopedist, that's true. I don't do that anymore. All right, I need some gloves here. Work here. So for most forearm splints, the 3-inch will work. If it's a really big arm, it's got kind of a big arm, maybe a 4-inch. We have a very precise measuring thing that we use here, just like that. I'm going to take those scissors home with me too. Alright, so turn this down. Switch over there. So this is going to go to the MCPs here, not all the way out to the fingers, because patients end up with getting maceration in between their fingers when you do that, and then the fingers they end up with more swelling and stiffness. So we'll get this wet. That's the only way to do it. I used to wrap them in towels to do it, now I just wring them out. If you look at the splint manufacturer's reps, just come here and hold this, Chelsea. Yeah, no fingertips, just, yeah. They tell you only need to put a little bit of water on there, which is true if you want to wait 45 minutes for it to set up, or longer. Put these down as well. So, let's hold your wrist back a little bit, yeah, fingers out. So if you put fingers in to hold things like this, you end up with these indentations, and although it's soft now, believe me, when these things finally set up, they're not, and patients are very uncomfortable. So let's get an ACE. And I'm under the impression that the people that work in the ER are paid or own stock in ACE bandages, because what can be done with one ACE usually comes in with 3. So it's okay to stretch them, just don't strangulate it. Usually the rule of thumb is about 50% more than the length of it there. And once Okay, to make a little thumb hole, like so. And all these have Velcro on them, it's not a bad idea to put a piece of like clear plastic tape on those as well. We don't have to do it right now, but that's not a bad idea. So then, while it's setting up, it's going to be fairly pliable, but again, you want to try and have them hold as still as possible with it, and no fingers. Always kind of use the broad parts of the hand to hold things. So we'll let that one set, and we're going to gradually immobilize you, so you'll be able to work the rest of the day. So now I'll do a long arm. Okay, fingers out, thumb through the hole there. Normally you would not want to go over the top of the clothing. Okay. And bend your elbow. This tends to want to bunch up here, so if you give it a snip without hitting the patient. It'll wax your arms. And over up just a little bit of that. Okay, I'll start with a give me a 3, please. 3-inch softball.
So you just cut your netting, your cover there?
You cut it right here in the in this part,
Uh-huh.
so this lays flat. Because if you don't, and it
So it
bunches,
doesn't bunches?
it bunches up there. People sweat under these things, and they can end up with little sores on them. Again, onto the MCP joints. And you want to try and have it at 90 degrees if you can, just because it's easier to put it into a sling. And when you do a long arm, the bony prominence here is the elbow, so you want to put extra on that. Don't worry as much about around the thumb since it's going to be on the back here. I'll take a 4-inch after this. 4-inch softball.
There's fuzzies.
A good way to pad the elbow is to take the roll and feed a little bit out, like a pad, and you just hold it in place. Like that. Use that same size. No, well, now we use this.
You want this one?
One to one. And then we box it up.
There's just a 3-ounce.
There's a 3 down there. You can go ahead and close that up. So, same principle, we want to go down to the MCPs, and on this, in the back part here, make sure that we don't go up beyond where the padding is. On that. Okay. Use this to help hold in place. Here. Yep, flat on the hand. This one actually works best for this. It's got the good expansions down here.
You stopping them, remember?
Yeah. Flat on the hand. I should say, scissors. There's a little thumb hole. The same before, it was stretched a little bit. So here's there's padding clear up to here, the end of the splint is here. There's padding clear down to here, end of the splint is here, fingers are free. All right, next. Are you able to scoot forward a little bit or no? Mm-hmm. There you go. All right. So we'll put on a ankle splint. And actually what I'll do is I'll do the exterior one first. And here, the pony prominences are going to be the malleoli, and then most importantly, the heel. And most of the splints that we see come in the office that are inadequate are the ones where there's almost no padding on the heel. And when patients get sores back here, it's a big deal. They're a long time to heal, and sometimes they need to be skin grafted. So there's the fibrillar head, approximately, is here. The splint is going to come up to about here, so we want to make sure that that's padded really well also.
Did you grab it for me?
I got some.
Okay.
Calves are like hammocks.
I run and ride. Legs getting tired.
What's that?
So my leg's starting to shake a little.
Yeah. If you're in better shape, you probably wouldn't. Just teasing.
I'm working on it.
So again, you're going to lay this out pretty evenly. You don't want it to look like a Q-tip where there's nothing here and all this stuff wadded up in the middle there.
Relax your leg on my hand.
It is relaxed.
We'll pad the same way. Front of the heel. Oftentimes while I'm putting this type of splint on in the operating room, we'll have I hear Chelsea actually have them just hold the big toe.
It's actually better for me too. No, my leg's not shaking.
All right. So what I'll do is just in the interest of not wasting all of this stuff here, I can show you what the posterior would be like. The posterior would be, again, it goes from here, the end of the foot plate, up to the calf, and it would be on like this. Most important thing here is we see a lot of splints come in, they're held like this, they're pinched back there, and so you get these indentations that really dig in. So it's really important to again hold with the flat of the hand like that, so you don't get the indentations in there. So let's Let's do a stirrup because I think that's a better splint. Right here. And the stirrup can be done with a 3 or 4. The 4 tends to want to bunch up a little bit more. This could probably go a little bit longer. You want to start maybe up there, but since this is where we're at with that, it literally creates a stirrup around the ankle. Get these down. Cover that. Is it right about now where most of your patients are asking what kind of pain medicine they're getting?
Mm-hmm.
And for a drink.
Some water.
And we often hear, and I can take a lot of pain.
I have a high pain tolerance,
Yeah.
but not today.
No.
All right, so with just two fingers right up here like that. And when you do this one, if you start up high, got it? I got it. With it, and then work your way down, it actually snugs it up. So this is a stirrup splint. If you do it on the forearm, they call it a sugar tongue. Okay, I got it here. Probably could have gone a little further down with that, but it's covered. I got your leg going, just relax. A nice thing about this splint too is that now there's no pressure on the heel. You can put this on a pillow immediately, and it's not going to deform the splint. With a posterior splint, you really shouldn't put it down until you've got until the stuff is set up. So, all right, put your leg down. I don't think we need to do putting in a full long leg splint, but what we'll do is
You can, I don't care.
well, all right. Go ahead, you're over here,
You can
Chris.
work the rest of the day like this.
Yeah.
All right, I'll just sit.
For these ones, I don't think, we'll just put over the leg, over this stuff here. You can either put one piece of stockinette all the way up, or since his leg is bigger up top than it is down below, you put it on in 2 pieces. Sorry.
All right, you didn't get in. Missed.
No, I do with the scissors, not laying on your chest. Hey there.
Thank you for showering today.
Right?
Okay. Now, since we have big runs to do, we'll do this stuff here. Stuff. I'm gonna raise them up to get his thigh out. But there, oftentimes, if you're putting a long leg splint on, it's for fracture somewhere in this area or about the knee, and so it really is something that needs to be supported with 2 hands, and then it becomes kind of like the baseball bat game where you're moving your hands back and forth to try and get out of each other's way. And for this one, bony prominences are going to be the heel, the malleoli, not so much the fibular head, but the patella. do that.
Did that hurt? Just displaced it again.
Right, yeah. You gotta start over.
What size are you using for this?
Probably the 6-inch. I think we got enough of it there. All right. Barely enough, so that's good. So we want to make sure we go up, not as high as the padding there. So cut it about there. And I put the scissors.
Scalpel.
Not where they belong.
It's like wrapping presents. I have those scissors.
Yeah.
Where do they go to?
Yeah.
I'll say I wrapped scissors into a present once.
Oh, man.
So looking at this, I think that's probably okay.
Well, it's not everybody's first day, is it?
I enjoy this, it's no wrong.
Sorry, I'm like about to cut your toe.
No, that's fine. It's actually in the hip. There we go.
Actually, all right, flat of your hand over there. Okay, this here. You can probably use the flat of your hand on the bottom of that. So just on, just on the foot plate. Just down. I'm gonna start here and then we're gonna smooth this thing up as we go. Yeah. No.
No keys in it.
Move your hand to the down thigh, under his knee. There you go. No fingertips. Get back up here. Now here's one case where you gotta obviously use one of these. Okay, so I have this. I'm gonna feel along all of this, make sure everything is smoothed out, and then you just support it with the open hands until it's set. What the patients are gonna wanna do is sit up and bend their knee while this is going on. So. All right. While we got them like this and that's setting up, I'm going to use just some of the, let's see. I think you're laying on the prop that I want to use here. Nope. I'm happy to. I'm just not gonna actually do it now, but when you do a sugar tongue, I don't know if they use the finger traps here when they're hanging, when they're doing the fracture reductions.
We do.
So that works really well. And while that's in the sugar tongue, when that goes on, the padding has to come all the way up to here. And there's two ways to do it. This is a big, so it's important to have a camera person helping you. So you can either do it this way, again, where it's, okay, where we want to go up to the MCP joints, in front and back, and where it wraps around here. Or there's another way to do it, where you take your split material and halfway through you cut it, and so that can then allow it to get in here. This stuff here, once you get through the split material, the padding that's around it will stretch a little bit, so you can get around here, and then you go on this way, and then these will wrap around like that. And then lastly, a coaptation splint. You be able to sit up with that? Okay. Coaptation splints are for, this one for that, are for humeral shaft fractures. Up in here, slings and immobilizers work fine. Down in here, long arm splints work fine, but right up in here, you use what's called a coaptation splint. And literally, go ahead and hold the arm like that. It starts up in the axilla, and then wraps around here, around the top, and then comes up over the top part of the shoulder, like this, and it just creates a fracture brace. So it just wraps around this way. And so it needs to be padded. It's hard to get the padding up here, so you can just create a pad or put an ABD, then wrap it really well, but make sure that as it comes around the arm that the padding goes clear out to here, so that those prominences are padded. And that's about it. So now you have to take all this stuff off yourself. Alrighty. No.
Thank you very much. And there's our assistant.
And the
All right.
victim.
Go right here. That's what's hanging. You're good. You're assistant. Taking my mummy costume off.
Yep. I'm not like that with my patients. Okay.
Okay, see if you can stand.
We don't do.
And this is Holden, our new ED tech. This is his first day on the job.